Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash JustNoMil. In today's episode, the time my JNMom called the cops on me over a pizza. She is acting like my baby is hers. CW. Jamil is infantilizing me. MIL insulting my children. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. The time my JNMom called the cops on me over a pizza. Possible CW, harm to a baby. This is the one thing that happened while living with my narcissistic mother that really was above and beyond. I've laid out some context in a previous post, but the basic gist is that my partner and I moved in with my mother when we found out we were having twins for a variety of reasons. At the time I was 22 and he was 24. My mom and him hated each other and we ended up leaving after about a year. This specific event took place after she told us she was gonna evict us. I believe the 2-week notice was already served. Our DDs were around 6 months old. It was a hot and humid day in the summer in a house with no central AC. My mother's room was upstairs and she didn't even have a portable AC, so it was the hottest room in the house. She decided she was gonna sleep in the kitchen because it was a bit cooler. When she came downstairs, she discovered we were using the oven to cook dinner. We had to go shopping the next day, so this frozen pizza was our only option. My mother started flipping out, screaming, saying we weren't allowed to use the oven because it was too hot. I apologized to her and explained it was our only choice for dinner. She kept turning off the oven, even unplugging it. I told her we have a right to be able to cook dinner at the place we rent, her house, yes, but we were technically tenants. When she realized it wasn't gonna happen, she started coming down the narrow hall to the living room with her air mattress, blustering and huffing the whole way. Our DDs were laying on the floor playing and she claims she saw them, but I really don't think she did, similar to the time she dropped one of my babies, but that's a story for another time. My partner stood in front of her and pushed back the air mattress because she was a foot away from running into them. My mom starts screaming, "I don't feel safe. Don't touch my things. 911. 911 inch, this is word for word, I have a recording. He wasn't touching her at all, just the air mattress. And she did call 911. Cue me running around trying to get my DDs off the floor, put the dog in the crate, and put some pants on. I was still pulling them up when the cops knocked on the door. Obviously nothing happened because we had a video of the whole thing. They did ask me what happened and I just said they hated each other. Looking back, I wish I might have given a little more context to how crazy she was acting. They told her that she had to let us use the oven since we were paying tenants. The icing on the cake is that my partner was just a few months away from the end of his probation at the time. My mother had threatened to call his probation officer before to try to get him in trouble, not that she even had any way to do so. If he got a charge, he would have gone away for a few years. I don't know if that was her intention, but sometimes I think that it certainly seems like it. That was her goal. She wanted you alone and dependent on her. It might be healthier for you to block her, at least for a while. She's living rent-free in your head and you need a chance to heal. I have been trying to heal from the idea that I'll never have a great mom. When I was a teen, I genuinely thought she was awesome most of the time. Maybe it is time to officially block her. Also, she only legally evicted my partner and told me multiple times I was welcome to stay once he left, which makes me think that was her intention even more. I'd be annoyed too and probably would have been loud about being annoyed. At the same time, she gave up her rights to decide the moments you were tenants instead of guests. My mom isn't this kind of crazy, but she's held a grudge for 25 plus years because I told my grandma I wanted to go on a fun field trip at 9 years old. Crazy. She blames me for all her trials in life. I wish I had a great mom. I work on being a great mom to my girls. It hurts seeing good mothers around me, especially good mothers to my peers, but it's not going to be my reality firsthand. Sorry you know what that feels like. I'm glad you're free of that living situation. Thank you, me too. I just wish we still had the apartment from before we moved in. I hope you cut her off. NGL is someone who lives in a house with no AC. We don't use the oven for months at a time in the summer. Makes everyone cranky and heats up the house really bad. And I totally understand why she wouldn't want you to. Honestly, she sounds crazy though, LMAO. Yeah, I definitely understand why she wasn't happy about it, and that's why I was apologetic at first. It was the way she handled it though, like you said. You moving out was exactly what needed to happen. She was trying to get him locked up for no reason other than she doesn't like him. Probably thinks he's not good enough for you, especially since he has been in trouble enough to be on probation. That's also not her choice, but yours. NC will probably help you heal more. How did she expect you to cook the pizza and, not starve? I totally get she was grumpy about the heat, but wow. She is acting like my baby is hers. CW. I have no other place to turn to, I need help. Content warning, mention of stillbirth, mention of current pregnancy, mention of toxic mother-in-law, cancer. Backstory. Last year I had a stillborn son in the 3rd trimester. When we got the news about his severe IUGR, growth restriction, and we informed them the OBs weren't confident he'd be able to thrive, my mother-in-law said nobody is thinking about how this makes me feel. When we did deliver him after finding out he had passed 7.5 weeks later, we did not allow him to be passed around person to person as we only had limited time with him. Every moment was sacred. My mother-in-law was present and did meet him. When she met him, she tugged on his ear and stood over me as I was squirming in discomfort and grief. Fast forward a month and she made several comments about how she should have been able to hold him / wishes she could have. We have not been on talking terms since, because she demonstrated extreme narcissistic traits. Fast forward. I agreed to meet up with her as she recently had a cancer scare, which lines up neither here nor there. She informed my husband that she had abnormal breast tissue, bloody discharge, and several other issues which can be found to be related to breast cancer. When I met up with her, she revealed that her results were completely normal, with no abnormal breast tissue. Nothing was really said about the discharge aside from her saying, "Well, I thought the discharge was bloody." I dismissed this and continued on, trying to be civil. We were talking about my second son, who I'm now 25 weeks pregnant with. I gave her the nursery ideas I had, etc. She then informs me they will be converting the downstairs bedroom they have into a nursery for him. Okay, then we sat in silence. And she starts showing me Winnie the Pooh stuff she's going to order for their nursery. Excuse me, what? She then informs me she has purchased a stroller for her house, a car seat, a wardrobe of things she would like him to wear, and she will be purchasing herself a diaper bag. Why? She doesn't ask, she just orders. She feels entitled to my son, and I really am at a loss. She is impossible to address, because she is a narcissist, she is bipolar, and she tends to spiral at any moment. She has threatened to just say goodbye to it all, skull, and more in the past when things don't go her way. I need help. I see my psychiatrist because of her and the PTSD from losing my son. But I don't even know where to begin with boundaries. I feel as if she's trying to steal my child who hasn't even been born yet. I don't know why you are wasting all of your money on a room in your house that baby will never use. You really need to get ahead of her and explicitly tell her what you and baby's life will be like post-birth. You need to lay down some rules before you notice her setting up a lawn chair between your legs as you're giving birth. Seriously. She can buy a solid gold diaper genie, it doesn't mean your child will ever be in the room with it. I'm not a nice person, so I'd be asking things like who is going to dust the nursery when it sits unused for all eternity? Or you do realize Squish is not ever sleeping over, right? I'd call her out publicly if I thought a third party being aware would be needed for proof when she says, well, I never knew Quigley wouldn't be over. I thought I'd be Sammy Joe's full-time daycare. I'm so hurt. I love all of this. Excellent advice all the way around, but must confess that Squish just became my favorite nickname. She can't force you to hand your baby over. She can't force you to bring the baby to her house. You're not helpless here, OP, don't think that you have to listen to her demands. Exactly. Bottom line can be that she's just spending her money on stuff that will gather dust. Let her do it, maybe it will make clear where your relationship is at. You and husband need to shut this down yesterday. I hope husband knows how crazy this is. If he doesn't, he needs therapy. I know you were shocked, but this has to be shut down immediately. Email her. MIL, we were both too shocked to respond appropriately when you were telling us about creating a nursery for baby at your home. We want to be very clear. You will not be caring for baby nor having baby stay over ever. We are the parents and we make the decisions about who sees baby and the terms. Your past actions have hurt us deeply and we are still not over the hurt you caused us. Do not contact us and do not get extended family involved / contacting us, as that will mean it will be even longer before you ever meet our child. Being a grandparent is a privilege, not a right. You have no authority over us or baby. If you ever wish to meet your grandson, you will abide by our rules with no complaint. Any contact with us, excessive emails, calls, texts, visits will be saved and used as evidence that you are unfit to be a part of our lives. Use as much above that applies to her. The key is husband is on your side. If he isn't or wish-washy, therapy stat. Then you make your boundaries. Masks, visiting hours, no kissing, no taking baby alone even in your home, no baby snatching, baby is returned immediately to mom or dad, no questions asked when you ask for baby back. Baby wear as much as possible if you let them visit. Remember that you have the high ground. You have what she wants, so you make the rules. Don't answer the door if she pops around uninvited. Make a rule of X hours / days notice, or that she has to be invited by you and husband. The hard part is not letting her actions get to you. It will get worse because she'll go nuts. Think of it as training for having a toddler. Treat her as such. Then document everything in info binder in case you have to go nuclear. It's too bad you spent all that money, because Elo will not be staying at your house until he's much older. Maybe you could donate those things to a family shelter? Any future threats of her ending it all should be immediately met by calling a wellness check with the police on her. This was exactly what happened. We called for a wellness check and she said we misinterpreted it. She gaslit us about it. I have been where you are. Almost 2 years ago, I had a stillborn at 34 plus weeks. And my MIL made that whole pregnancy a living hell. She wreaked havoc on my and my so lives BC. I finally set boundaries. Thankfully my so finally came around and started enforcing boundaries himself. I had to stand my ground even in the face of possibly losing my so at the time. In the time after losing my loss, I stopped talking with her. I blocked her on everything I could and would not acknowledge her whatsoever. Even my so would have her on speaker in the car and I still ignored anything she directed at me. It made so uncomfortable, but I was done after everything she did to me before, during, and after the pregnancy. I am now officially no contact and my so is very low contact with her. And happier with my newborn and so. She has never met my newborn and most likely might not. I guess I'm trying to say is set your boundaries and enforce them as you see fit. Everything else will fall into place. And make your peace with knowing you're doing what's best for yourself and your baby. Jamil is infantilizing me. And I am probably too nice. I know many of the posts here write how the MIL is infantilizing their own son or daughter. But in my case, JNMil isn't infantilizing their son, as he is capable of defending himself and his confidence, but instead, she has patterns of infantilization towards me, her DIL. I am in my 30s. It has become clear as light of the day that that's what she's doing, and that is the main problem I have with her. She has this need to treat me as a child, even though I passed 30. Does anyone else have this problem? And somehow I think, maybe it's me that sparks this behavior in her. You see, I had parents who didn't exactly instill a sense of confidence in me, and I am trying to grow more confident in myself. My parents used to doubt all my decisions and instill worry in me, belittle my opinions, etc. So, what if my lack of confidence and conflict avoidance wakes in my MIL the need to infantilize me? She does this sometimes with her children, but they usually tell her off, like, for example, she scheduled a dentist appointment for her 30-year-old daughter behind her back. Ways in which she infantilizes me. Constantly calling me a child or implying I am a child, like calling me the best friend of her toddler grandchild. She once told me I am too a child myself to have children. I was 29. Actually, 2 times she told me the exact same thing, 2 years apart. Giving me gifts that normally are given to children, like, on St. Nicholas she will gift me sweets, and mentioning Children's Day as if it's relevant to me. I don't even eat sugar. Questioning my every decision. If I told her anything in my life, she will either have a dissatisfied look or criticize it subtly or directly. I learned not to share my decisions with her anymore. Telling me how to do simple tasks that I knew how to do since I was 7, putting water in the iron, peeling an orange, salting the potato water, etc. She does not know me. Now I tell her that I know how to do these things, but that didn't stop her from doing it again. Sometimes, when I expressed opinions, she just stopped listening to me and turned to do something else. She acted surprised when my DH told her I will be 30. She constantly has to imply I am forgetful or that I wake up late. She is more forgetful than me, and I wake up early every morning. She just doesn't know. One time, when I used to live with my ILS, she gave me a call really early in the morning to make sure I was awake. I never answer her in the morning anymore, not even the texts. She tried to make me change the dress I put on for an event into a dress she liked more, but she was very insistent. Of course I said no, I am fine. Constantly showing me things I should buy, that she found. One time I got so angry, I said a resounding, no. Even husband was surprised. She did it too often. You know how annoying is that at every meeting with her, she has to suggest to me at least 2 things to buy. Implying I don't cook, even though I do. One time she said if it wasn't for her, we would be starving. She actually said that. I cook every day. If you dealt with infantilization ever, how did you manage to escape it? Thank you. It's a control tactic. She wants to be the adult in the relationship who is obeyed without question. The level she is willing to stoop to is disturbing. Agreed. Her son won't put up with her crap, so she tried it on OP. She got away with it, so she continues. Yes, controlling people often struggle to see others as separate and independent to them. Any disagreement by the person they are trying to control with them will threaten this belief and cause blow-ups/tantrums/rows as OP is seeing. JNMil is trying to assert her dominance over you. If you are a child, then she is the authority figure. Actually, what she is doing is showing you how childish and insecure she is. I would find this incredibly annoying. Shut her down every time. Put her comments back onto her MIL. Why would you say something ridiculous like that? She does like to dominate. Every time she does this, just stop what you're doing and look her in the eyes. After like 5 seconds, say, "Got this, thanks." Really? You are correct. Thanks for sharing. Nope, I like it this way. Nah. Let us know how it goes, please. Please do let us know, OP. Keep us updated on your progress. I bet you'll do great. The next time she starts to tell you how to do a simple task, hand her the materials for it. Don't say anything, just hand her the materials. When she acts surprised and asks why, tell her, well, since you seem to think that I am too dumb to be doing X, peel an orange, put water in the iron, etc., I figured you'd better do it so I don't do Y, ridiculous consequence like burn the neighborhood down because you peeled an orange wrong. When she starts to backpedal, look her dead in the face and say, I know what I am doing. I am an adult, not a child. Do not treat me like one. From then on, just shorten it to, do not treat me like a child. You may need to practice saying this to yourself in the mirror or role-playing it with DH before you can do it with MIL, but at some point you're going to have to put your foot down with her if you want the infantilization to stop. I've run into this kind of patronizing attitude because of the industry I work in and the fact that I look so young. If you don't stomp on it hard, it will continue. I've found that the only way to get parents to see you as an adult is to remind them that you are one, even if it's done in an abrupt and unkind way. When you infantilize someone, their desired reaction is submission and acquiescence because that's what children are supposed to do. But you are an adult, and trying to treat an adult like a child should be met with abrupt unkindness at best. My mother tried to do this to me once while I was ironing a shirt for work. I had graduated college and had been working for a year and was capable of ironing a shirt myself. She attempted to take the iron away from me, and I simply grabbed her arm firmly, locked eyes with her for an uncomfortable period of time and told her to stop between gritted teeth. She got the message. Arguments about being a child and being an adult were unnecessary. When someone tries to stop you from doing an adult task because they think you are stupid, correct them. That should be the reaction every time. Assertion, aggression, and resumption of activities. No discussion of feelings, no arguments. You are dealing with someone who thinks you are a large baby, and that sort of crazy should be met with cold, calculated walls. Your interactions in these cases should be something like this. MIL, you have to salt the potato water. You, stop. Get out of my kitchen. Now. MIL, don't forget to put water in the iron. You, stop. MIL, you are always so forgetful. You, stop. Get out of this room right now. Same goes for your husband. Telling her you know how to do something is something children say, even if they don't know what they are doing. An adult answer is telling that person to politely get bent. This will hurt feelings, and that's what adults do to people who are like this. Since my one interaction, my mother has never tried to tell me how to do simple tasks. She's still my mom, and does mom things, but she realizes I'm her adult son and not her child. I'm petty. I would do the same thing back to her. When she tells you how to do something, tell her very good. Now what else can you show me how to do, in a voice you would use with a small child or a mansplainer? I always tell people play the why game too. When someone insults or irritates you, ask what they mean by it. Keep asking. They get annoyed. It's fun. You have to correct it every single time, not just when you reach boiling point. You're unintentionally sending the message that it's okay and you'll tolerate it. Speak up and don't be apologetic when you push back. Yeah, you're right, I just find it so strange when people feel the need to behave this way. Why do some people feel the need to belittle? God, I would find this so insulting. I don't view it so much as infantilizing. I view it as her being insufferably nasty, aka a B*********. She sounds like someone who needs to tear down everyone around her in order to make herself feel good. Not helpful or mothering, just plain nasty. She uses the old "I'm just trying to be loving, helpful, wise elder" as an excuse to be a cow to you. Her comment about you and DH starving if it wasn't for her, despite you cooking every day, would have me raging. She's outright lying and maligning you and her pathetic need to big note herself. I'd look her dead in the eye and ask, "When do you cook for us? Are you imagining things? I don't remember you being in my kitchen yesterday, or the day before, or any of the days in recent memory, so how is it that you are keeping us from starving? Magic?" Throw it right back at her. You say that she doesn't do this crap to DH because he has confidence and defends himself. There's your answer. Work on yourself to create that confidence and defend yourself. And tell your husband to back off if he complains. You're not his meat shield either. Man, reading this has me so pissed for you. It's hurtful and cruel. Anytime she tries to explain a simple task to you, give her a patronizing good job. You know how to insert easy thing. Good one. MIL insulting my children. My husband, 26M, and I, 26F, have been trying to have a baby for almost 2 years. We have been married for 4, together for 8. We both have college degrees and good stable careers. We had a loss at 8 weeks last summer and it was extremely devastating. My MIL is aware of all this. She has always said some off-color things, but I have brushed them off. I'm also an extremely sensitive person. Recently we were visiting, me, husband, Mael and FAL, all in the living room. We were having a really pleasant time. They were asking about the pregnancy and she asked how far along I am. I cheerfully said 10 weeks and 4 days. She replied, "Oh, well this one has made it further than your last clump of cells." I was in shock. My husband said, "Poppy, our baby's name, was not just a clump of cells." She doubled down and said, "Well, I know you two believe that but I don't." We laughed. He went over by himself later in the day to speak to her about how hurtful that was, and it ended in a fight with her telling him what a horrible son he is. She later texted me, "I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, I love you." Also, when we showed her this baby's first sonogram, all she had to say was, "Oh, it looks like a bug. I'll name it when it looks like a baby." Where do I go from here? I don't feel comfortable sharing any part of my pregnancy with her anymore. Don't engage anymore. Don't ask for explanations, apologies, care, zip, zero, nada. This isn't someone who will change. She won't become a better person the day she arbitrarily decides to name your baby. Who TF does she think she is? I know it hurts because it's a special time for you, but she's been showing you who she is, so treat her as such. Remember that she's going to treat your child with the same level of indifference and strange standards, so it's better to drop the rope now. Next time she calls your husband a bad son/person, tell him to say he learned it from her. Well, she calls my BIL/Sales baby by a completely different name. When they announced what they were naming her, which is a beautiful, normal name, she texted family members text to say that you don't like that name and it should be ____ instead. You do you, but I would not share one more piece of information with her until you were 4 to 6 weeks home from giving birth. Don't. She said a horrible thing, isn't sorry, and doubled down by attacking her son. I would block her, tell her nothing, and tell any flying monkeys something like, she said something utterly cruel and then said DH was a horrible son for defending my child. It's not the first time, but it's the last. I don't want to discuss it further. Thanks for respecting that. This is the way. I'm so sorry this happened, OP. She sounds absolutely heartless. Congratulations on your blessing. 1,000,000% would not send anything else. Your MIL is being cruel. Your husband explained how hurtful her comments are and she is continuing to address your baby in a manner that hurts you. That is not okay. While I am absolutely pro-choice and have my own feelings and opinions regarding where life begins, I would never ever speak to someone like she is speaking to you regarding their unborn baby, especially given your traumatic history. I am really sorry you are dealing with this. I encourage you to let your husband send all future correspondence with her, as her complete lack of awareness will only hurt your mental health. Well said. You are not sensitive. She is very rude. Info diet if you want to stay in contact, but if it were me I would go and see and she'd never hear or see me or my clump of cells ever again. I'll name it when it looks like a baby. And will speak to you when you apologize and act like a normal, empathetic human being. I'm so sorry for your loss, and that you have such a horrible email, and wish you a safe, healthy pregnancy. Why does she think she gets to name it at all? Even if she needs a nickname until baby arrives, not her place. Take a big step back from this woman. I miscarried a few months ago. My dad recently said that he thought it was funny how I'm a biologist and yet I can't sustain life. It's unbelievable how some people's minds work, thinking something like that would be okay to say even behind someone's back, but to their face? I'm so sorry that you have someone similar in your life. It's terrible to have what should be your closest support system be so far from it. I'm not speaking to my dad for now, but I'll be following this to hear what others think. Did you, I don't know, set him on fire? I am so sorry this happened to you. What so many people don't understand is that just the knowledge that you are carrying a new life inside you already makes you a mother in your eyes. It amazes me how many A***s are out there, even parents. Sending hugs your way. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.